Well, good morning, everybody. We're going to be doing a special flight today. Welcome aboard Holiday Airlines. I'm Captain Holiday. We're going to fly from Jakarta to Christmas Island. Figured since it was Christmas, we should do a Christmas flight. Christmas Island's Australian territory out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It's about an hour and a half flight once we get up in the air. It's not horrible, but it's all over water, so there's not going to be a whole lot to see. Christmas Island's a single runway. It's a pretty small little airport. Most of the island is actually a nature preserve, so there's not a lot of room for messing around with other stuff. But let's get started. Go ahead and connect the GPU, get power going here. Mesh power on, ground power, emergency lights on, seatbelt lights coming on, and begin aligning the IRS.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll see the seatbelt lights flash on and off.
Go ahead and set the fuel here.
For you to actually make sure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and ready for departure.
Looks like we need 16,000 on the fuel. And it looks like the payload's gonna be 42.4 today. It's gonna be a heavy plane. Wow. Go down to the FMC. We are currently sitting at Whiskey, India, India, India. Grab the left GPS, plug that in. Whiskey, India, India, India to Yankee Papa. X-ray, Mike. Let's see. Today, there is no direct routes there from Jakarta. It's just the closest airport I can find that I wanted to fly from to get a quick flight in today. So we grabbed a Qantas Airlines. So we're going to be Qantas Airlines. This will be a charter flight. And we're going to be Qantas 342 for today. And we're scheduled to depart Jakarta on runway 25 left. Alright, we'll leave out of here with about 16,000. Grab the zero fuel weight. Reserves are a ton of reserves. Looks like the reserves are about a 4.8 for this flight. Cost index will be a 29. And we're set for flight level 340 today. Winds at altitude are going to be 075 at 16. And the ice deviation is going to be a plus 13. Nope, too much. 13. Transition altitude 11,000. We're good there. Outside temperatures at 26. We'll derate that a little bit. Jakarta is a big airport with plenty of room. Be flaps 5. Center of gravity is going to be at 493. We'll go ahead and check that now. Bring that just a little bit up. Over here, the winds, the runway is dry, and the winds on the runway are 230 at 10. So we'll go ahead and get that set. Come back. V1 will be 141. VR 142. V2 149. Go ahead and set that up here to 149 so we don't forget. Departure. We actually don't have any kind of departure out of Jakarta today. It's a straight out route. It's a direct to BND, Bravo November Delta, and should be the top one. Direct to XMX. Doesn't have XMX in the database. Oh, it's because I messed that up. XMX. There we go. And that goes straight into the arrival airport. We are going to do an 18 right arrival, or I'm sorry, 18, right? Just plane 18. So we'll grab the RNAV arrival under runway 18. We'll go ahead and see if this does meet up with our X-ray mic X-ray. Doesn't look like it does. So it should be pretty straightforward for the flight today. Easy flight. That all appears to be set. Let's see. Let's grab the Jakarta-ATIS. 126.85. Low pressure system sitting here. 2979.
Scattered. Temperature 25. 2.22. Altimeter 2979. Arriving runways 25.
And our flight level is going to be
right.
340.
25 left. 25 right.
Not flying with any real world traffic or any ATC, so we'll go ahead and just set that for our direct climb out. Passengers getting on board, we'll go ahead and set that. Same thing here, flight level is going to be 340. And Christmas Island sits right on the water, so that can stay at 0. We'll go ahead and get the hydraulics going. Let the co-pilot go out and do his pre-flight inspection outside of the aircraft.
240.11. Visibility 4. Sky conditions 2000 scattered. Temperature 25. 2.22.
We'll go ahead and do our welcome aboard announcements.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking.
Right. Departing runways 25
Here's our Qantas aircraft.
Right.
Today, and weather operations looking pretty severe. Shortly, the cabin crew will be showing you a safety demonstration. This is for your safety and for those around you. So
Go ahead and turn off the ATIS. We just need to get the current altimeter there.
Welcome on board.
We'll go ahead and pre-plan our pushback. Grab better pushback here. Looks like we need to go tail to the right. Yep, tail right, backing out of here. And then what we're going to do is taxi straight ahead to the taxiway in front of us. And we will then make a left turn.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright, check the overhead panel real quick. Let's go ahead and get the fuel turned on. We'll go ahead and get the APU started. 1, 2, 3, release. While that's happening, we'll go ahead and button up the aircraft. We'll start getting things cooled off. The temperature's already pretty high.
Ladies and gentlemen, a
We're in
very warm welcome on board
Jakarta.
this
Surprisingly, we
flight.
have
To ensure
warm
your
weather.
quick and on-time departure, we kindly ask you to move along the cabin aisle as quickly as possible. And once you found your seat, please step into your seating area to let the other passengers through. You can store your hand luggage either under the seat in front of you or in the overhead compartments provided. Please keep emergency exits clear.
We do have
at all
Project
times.
Fly
I would
running.
like to remind you
If you want to use Project Fly bot, just use those commands in the chat. And the EGT is up. We'll wait for that to come back down, and then we'll be able to get our APU power. There it comes back down. Alright, APU is available. Switch over to APU power. Go ahead and get the APU bleed on, and we will go ahead and get the packs blowing some cold air for the passengers in the back. Alright, while that's doing that, we'll go ahead and call push back up.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Come over to the other side here. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the GPU now that we're on the APU. We won't remove chocks yet till the tow's connected. We'll go ahead and set the RTO. Get the flight director left side and right side turned on. Double check. Yep, still setting the altimeter for both sides. Good. Here comes the pushback.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Clear to connect. And since we're not flying with anybody, we're just going to turn on the TCAS just so that we don't have the warning on the main display there. Alright, 340. V2 speed is set. We will turn on the auto throttles once we get the engines going. Alright, now that they're connected, shocks automatically came off. Good. Looks like we are just about ready to go.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Thank you. Alright, the temperature has come down a little bit. We are going to go ahead and have to cut them back off. That way we can get the engine started. Packs are off, and we will go ahead and go over to ground on number 2. Go ahead and monitor the N2 as that spins up. Looking for that 25% before we introduce fuel. Add the fuel. Fuel flow's on the rise. EGT is now on the rise. And there goes the starter cutoff for engine number 2. It's a good start on 2. We'll go over to ground on number
Jacket
1.
is stowed in a pocket beneath your seat or in the panel above your head. In the unlikely event of landing in water, remove the jacket from its packet and place it over your head. Bring the strap around your waist, clip at the front, and secure as the crew are now demonstrating. To inflate the life jacket,
Alright, as that spins up, looking for 25% again. There's 25. Introduce the fuel. Go back
do
and
not
watch that
inflate your
finish
life jacket
starting.
inside the cabin, as to do so will impede your exit. Further information may be found on the safety card, which is displayed within the area you are seated. Your captain invites you to read.
Looks like a good
Operation
start there.
complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And there goes the cutout for the engine starter on number 1. Both engines are running. Go ahead and switch over to power on the engines. We will bring the packs back on. The APU bleed can come off, and the APU itself can come off. Power looks good. We're going to go ahead and get all the window heat on, probe heat on. Clear to disconnect, thank you. 54.8, 54.9 on engine 1, 54.9 on engine 2. Looks good. Do a quick panel scan here. Everything's looking good. Looks like
Tow
we're
is
good
disconnected
to
and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you, ma'am. Alright. They're driving away there. We'll look for the pin in a second. We'll go ahead and do our flight control check. Full left, full right, full forward, full back, left rudder, and right rudder. Complete. Oh, she's sitting behind the pillar there. Pin's been removed. We'll go ahead and turn off the lower display. We don't need it right now. We'll go ahead and set flaps 5 for the departure. And the auto throttle can come on. Release the parking brake, and we will start to taxi here. So we're going straight ahead. Taxi light on. And while the aircraft first creeping forward, we'll go ahead and put the engines on continuous for the takeoff. Give a little power to get rolling here. We're going to be making this left turn in front of us to head down. It looks like taxiway Sierra Papa 1 is the taxiway we're going to be using down to 25 left. So because we didn't get a departure here, what we'll do is we'll take off, fly runway heading, and then we will hand fly it onto our course here, shown on the display. Once we get on course and we're up at about 1,000 feet, we will set the autopilot to take over. A little more juice. So we're going to make this harder left here onto Sierra Papa 1. The sign there for Sierra Papa 2 is not the taxiway we want. It's the closer taxiway of the runway. We're going to be taking Sierra Papa 1. I don't know why they don't just number them like we do with one letter, but they don't. That would have been easy, right? Scenery out here for either airport. I just thought it'd be a good fun flight for Christmas to fly to Christmas Island, take a little holiday to the middle of the Indian Ocean. Looks like something not on the chart that we can't take. Taxiway SP1 all the way. So we'll go ahead and give it a little power. We'll turn to the right here and get onto Sierra Papa 2. That's not shown on the charts, but that's okay. We'll get it figured out. Not a big deal. We saw it in time. See that on the no TAMs or anything. Maybe my stuff's a little out of date, but it is not showing for me. So we'll continue to taxi down Sierra Papa 2. Down to the end of the runway here. A little view of our little Qantas. Flying the Zibo 737 today. I know Qantas has some 737s. I don't think they have a bunch of them. here comes 2-5 left. We'll get ready for our departure here. Pull up, and we will hold short just for a second to make sure the aircraft's configured for takeoff. Alright, we'll go ahead and get the landing lights on, change the position over to strobe, and we will notify the crew that we're ready to go. Alright, double checking, RTO set.
Secured. Have a good flight.
Flaps are set at 5, speed is set 149, climbing out to 34,000 today. Looks like we are ready for departure. Left. Here we go. Engine's up to 40%. Wait for that to stabilize. Looks good. Toga. Airspeed's alive.
Knots.
Checked.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Pitch up to about 15 degrees here on the climb.
400.
Check. RTO can come off. And let's go ahead and start that turn.
1,000.
Have to pitch the airplane down just a little bit and start bringing the flaps up as we accelerate. Flaps to 1. Coming through 200. Flaps up. We'll continue this right turn climb out. Ugh, nasty weather here. All the lights are still on, so we're okay. Really low ceiling here in Jakarta. I knew it looked gray. I didn't realize it was going to be that gray. Catch a quick outside view as we continue the turn. There's Jakarta International behind us. Pitch this up just a little bit more. Climb power is set. Let the nose just kind of drift down a little bit, let that airspeed keep coming up. And we're going to go ahead and roll out of the turn. Gear can come off, RTO's off, flaps are up. Still hand flying it. We'll just keep the little bit of the bank to get over here to the route. pitch the nose down just a little bit, starting to lose some airspeed. Try to hold it right around 10 degrees. Show you a wing view, but there's nothing out there but clouds. Alright, go ahead and turn over the aircraft to the autopilot. Let it go ahead and get on course for us. Come up at 6,000 feet. Just checking the system, everything looks okay. We'll continue the climb. Now, go ahead and zoom the map out. There's really nothing till we arrive. Pitch down there just to gain speed for the new speed setting. Pitch right back up as soon as that speed builds. Coming up on the transition altitude, there's 10,000, so we'll go ahead and turn the lights off. Oop, and the engines come back to auto. We'll go ahead and kill the seatbelt sign. Let everybody get up back there. There's 11,000, there's our transition altitude. We'll go ahead and set the standard on the pressure. Alright, just reviewing the charts here real quick. The RNAV arrival into 18 is a straight in. It does look like we could have picked up one of the transitions there. Not really that important though. Basically there's an east, a west, and a north transition coming into the RNAV arrival. The final approach course for runway 18 at Christmas Island is 175. We'll go ahead and set that. It's not a very long flight. We do have an ATIS there at 126.25. So we'll go ahead and set that ATIS in preparation for our arrival into Christmas Island. Very straightforward approach. It looks like there's 2 or 3 points on the approach into the runway. I haven't checked the ATIS lately to see what it's going to be like when we get there, but we'll check that in a minute, make sure everything looks like it'll be okay. Hopefully it is. Otherwise, doing an RNAV approach is going to be really rough. A little bit of a weather load there. Why that always seems to be so rough in the simulator. basically flying straight down the island of Indonesia. That's the route. And then we'll make a right turn out over the ocean. Oh, right here at B&D, it looks like comes our right turn. Give you an outside view to see if we can see anything. Yeah, some mountains. Some mountains down there of Indonesia below us. Oh, some bigger mountains. Guess I didn't realize how much of a mountain Indonesia had. That's a significant little mountain there. Enjoy our beautiful Qantas 737. Alright, so the current altimeter is a QNH of 1011. Looks like the winds are 190 at 4, so that 18 landing will be a very good landing there. And it looks like there may be some scattered clouds as well over Christmas Island. We'll know more when we get close, I guess. Not expecting this to be a great airport out here. I don't think anybody's designed a Christmas Island. There's not that many people, I'm assuming, that fly to Christmas Island. But we'll fly out there and see what it looks like when we get there. Don't usually fly the Indo-Pacific Islands a lot. Might start doing that more. They have a lot of little quick hops that you can do. We'll just leave the view on the outside for a few minutes here. We're en route to Christmas Island from Jakarta, for those of you just coming in. Christmas Island's off in the Pacific Ocean. It's actually owned by Australia, even though it's really far from Australia. It's actually very close to Indonesia. That's why we chose Jakarta as our departure. And checking Project Fly, it says we're supposed to be on the ground in about 36 minutes. I don't doubt that. It's not a long hop from us, from Jakarta International down there. Just a quick little flight today, nothing big. Happy holidays to everybody, and thanks for being here. I appreciate it. If you enjoy it, please do make sure you hit that follow button. Trying to build some followers here. Appreciate it if you guys would do that. Hit our top of climb and probably hit our top of descent really close after that. Yeah, very close after that. Well, not so much, about 150 miles after we hit our top of the climb. Here comes the right turn. This will push us out over the Pacific, or I'm sorry, the Indian Ocean. Still working on adding some pop-ups for followers and things like that. Hopefully we'll get that worked out soon. Top of climb's approaching. Looks like the top of descent's right around that 160 miles. So, not a long flight. Should be crossing over into the Pacific, Indian Ocean. I keep trying to say Pacific. It's the Indian on this side of the island. I see a lot of blue coming up quick. So it looks like we'll be over the Indian Ocean here very shortly. On our way to Christmas Island for Christmas and a little bit of a vacation.
$1,000 to go.
Check. Thank you guys for being here. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, knock those out in chat. I'll do my best to answer them. I've been flying flight simulators for years now. I don't know that I flew the original flight simulators, but I have definitely been flying for a long time on flight sims. Tried X-Plane years ago. Didn't actually like it much back then. Started checking out that a lot of people were enjoying X-Plane 11, so I went in and picked it up, and I have to tell you, it is not the X-Plane I used to fly back in X-Plane 8. It's a very good simulator now. I've flown all the Microsoft flight simulators, and this by far is one of the best ones I've ever flown. I really enjoy it. If you guys don't have it, you really should try to pick it up. It's a good simulator. Alright, leveled off. I'm going to do the level off speech for everybody real quick. It's not a long flight, but we'll do it. And we'll go ahead and notify the crew that they can start serving all the drinks.
Seatbelt sign is now off. Feel free to move around the cabin, but we do ask if you are in your seat that you do keep your seatbelt loosely fastened in case we do experience any unexpected turbulence. Otherwise, invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Nice little interior done on this Qantas. All the seats have a nice little display on them. Not the generic, just, you know, pocket back. Unlike when you're flying in the Southwest, it does look like we have a small first class or business class up here in the front. Go ahead and check on those folks there. Oh, look at that display. Gosh, it's so much nicer than if you're sitting in the back, isn't it? Wow. Check out the forward galley here. Look back down the cabin. Nice leather seats up here in the first class / business class section. Looks like we are officially over the Indian Ocean now. I don't see any more land below us. Looks like we may have clouds most of the way, though, unfortunately. Not that there's anything to see but water. But it would have been nice to not have a cloudy day. flown out of Australia off the west coast, it would have been a much longer flight over a lot more ocean. It looks like we would have hit a lot of rain coming out of there. A lot of rain along the Australian entire west coast looks inundated with rain. We're about 26 minutes from touchdown. A little bit of a tailwind, not much. Making good time on the ground speed.
Mic off. Mic on.
You are not using any reserve fuel. That's okay though. You can warn me if you want to. Top since 84 miles. So not very long in cruise for this one. That's okay. It's Christmas. Just want to knock out a quick flight for everybody and spend some time with the family. Still cruising out over the Indian Ocean. Nothing out there but water and clouds. Left Jakarta behind us a couple minutes ago. Might still be able to see a little bit of land. Yeah, still see a little bit of land behind us as we push off over the Indian Ocean. It is going to be an RNAV arrival into runway 18. We'll go ahead and set the aircraft up a little bit. Decision height today is 404 feet. Go ahead and try to get that set up so that we're ready. That went way too far there. The airport actually is at almost 1,000 feet above sea level. So we'll go ahead and set the pressurization system to be ready for that. So Christmas Island, I guess, is basically a giant volcano that sticks up out of the middle of the water, which is why the airport's so high. It's probably cliffs all the way around it. Hopefully we don't pick up any more clouds, that way we can actually enjoy this RNAV arrival. We're about 20 minutes from that arrival. Nothing but water. Looks like we're being pushed around there a little bit. It's kind of weird when you even notice that when you're over the water. Looks like the sim is frozen. Can't really tell anything is moving when you're just out over the Indian Ocean out here. We'll hop back inside in just a minute. The top of the descent wasn't too far out. Guys, if you haven't already, please make sure you smash down that follow button. Looking to gain some followers here. Just started streaming recently, and if you guys are enjoying the flight, we'd really appreciate if you guys would do that, so you can come back and enjoy some more flights. Usually fly in the U.S., usually fly Southwest, but thought it'd be a nice change up for Christmas to do a Christmas Island flight from Jakarta, just to do something real quick and then go spend the afternoon with the family. I hope you guys had a good holiday, got some of the things you wanted. Maybe you didn't get some of the things you wanted, but I hope everybody's enjoying their day. Thanks for being here. Hop back inside. Just want to check how far out that top of descent's coming up. 35 miles to top of descent. Top of descent's right around 25 miles. Go ahead and start setting up the aircraft for that descent. We're going to go ahead and lower this down to about 4,000. Again, we're not flying with any other world traffic or air traffic control, so we can set that kind of how we want. See if there's an update to the weather at Christmas Island. No, looks like it's the same as when we departed Jakarta. Not surprising, it's only about an hour flight. QNH is still set, it looks like, at 10:11. We'll go ahead and set that. When our ATIS does pop up, it's going to give it to us in inches. We're going to set it. Oh, look, there we go. We're going to need a cloudy approach. Well, that just sucks, doesn't it? Hopefully we punch through those pretty quick. That way we can at least see the island as we're coming in. Anyway, we're going to set the QNH to the 10:11. When the ATIS does pop up, it's going to give it to us in inches. We'll flip back over to inches just to make sure it's set properly. Speed should roll back here in just a minute as well for the descent. Top descent rapidly approaching here. Get ready for this pitch down as we get ready to make this RNAV approach to runway 18, Christmas Island, Australia territory in the Indian Ocean. Here we go. There goes the engines rolling back, and we're pitching over into the descent. Good. We'll go ahead and do our descent announcement for everybody in the back.
Just commencing our descent. Looks like we'll be landing ahead of schedule, and the weather conditions are looking good at our destination. We'll be touching down in less than 30 minutes, so do make your way back to your seats. Thanks for choosing to fly with us today, and it's been a pleasure having you on board.
Alright. Nice little polite captain there for that announcement. Probably got a warning for some drag. Yeah, a little bit of drag warning there. Not too worried about it. We're not over speeding or anything like that, so we'll leave it be for now. The plane's not going to be pitching down as much once we catch up to that descent, which we're just about there. So I'm expecting the plane to level back off just a little bit. That'll help with that speed as well. Slowing down maybe a little bit. We'll go ahead and give it a little bit of drag just to help it out a little bit. I'm not going to go quite into full flight detent. Not just yet. Just give it a little bit of spoilers just to help her slow down a little bit. Try to match this 283 as we're coming in. This magenta line you see coming off, that's our diversion back out of here. We would actually have to fly all the way back to Indonesia if something were to happen and we couldn't land at Christmas Island today. That's why we have so much reserve fuel. As there's nothing else out here to divert to. We literally have to get all the way back to Indonesia for our first available airport. Alright, we'll go ahead and bring the speed brakes back in. Slowed down nicely. We'll just keep monitoring that. If that speeds up again, we will reset that if we need to. When we land on this runway, we'll have to taxi down, turn around and do a back taxi to the terminal apron area. I don't think they actually have a terminal. I think it's just an apron that sits there. And they have to bring out some stairs. It is a shorter runway. It's only 6,900 feet, so we're gonna make sure we brake pretty hard. We'll probably go with a full flaps 40 landing just to make sure today, and probably set our auto brake to a 3. Even though we have to roll it out to the end to do the turnaround, I'd rather make sure we get stopped on time than to chance it with a longer rollout. And if it looks like we're doing good, we'll just manually brake it out to the end and keep the speed up a little bit. But if we land long, I want to make sure that we have plenty of stopping power to make that stop possible. A little bit short. It's kind of like almost like a Chicago Midway with the shorter runway. Midway, there's no room for messing that up. You've got to be in there. It actually looks like something's wrong on the approach here. Let me pull up the chart, just double check this approach. Looking at the map, it looks really strange here. Nope, it's correct. Just looks... I know what it is. The issue's right here going straight into that XMI. So we're going to go ahead and try to change this. It's probably going to mean we're going to have to descend really hard. We're going to go ahead and throw out the speed brakes to do this. And we're going to make this plane come down. There's no point in flying all the way past the airport just to come back to the other end of the airport and do a U-turn. Not gonna do it. It makes no sense whatsoever. So we're gonna hit this descent hard. We are gonna put out some full spoilers here. Full flight D10. We're gonna make this aircraft come down. We'll go ahead and bring the charts in. Yeah, we've got to be at 2,400, above 2,400 feet pretty quick here. We're gonna go ahead and set the pressure. We're gonna keep this descent up. We're over the ocean, so I don't care about the speed restrictions. It is what it is. We'll go ahead and get all the lights turned on, though. We'll go ahead and get the engines over to continuous. And we're going to let this bad boy basically fall out of the sky. Should be a fun ride for the passengers on this descent. But I think we'll get there. It's descending good. We're just going to be a little fast. We'll leave the spoilers out for a few minutes here. Yep, here it comes, 800, 700, 6. Plane should start leveling out real quick here for us as we come back into the approach. And then we'll just, again, leave the spoilers out for a minute. Let that speed bleed off a lot quicker. And we're going to be good for this approach into Christmas Island. It does look like these clouds are going to be a problem all the way in. We're at 6,000. We still haven't broken through the bottom of them. Hopefully they clear up really quick here for this approach. Alright. Well, we got down quick. That worked. We'll just keep the spoilers out. Continue to drag the aircraft. We will start setting up the other things. We're going to go ahead and set up the auto brake to 3. Come down here, check our flaps 40 speeds. 40 is going to be a 142 approach. So we'll get that set up here in just a second. Still got to get a little bit slower here. We're about 15 miles from the runway. Right about 20 miles probably from the actual runway when you count the turn and everything else. We know we have to hit that at 2,400, so we'll go ahead and set 2,000 there because we have to be above, it looks like 2,000 again. We'll check 23, so we got to be above 23 again there. Speed's coming up good. We'll go ahead and kill the spoilers there. We'll go ahead and set the speed brake for the approach. We have to be above 2400 and above 2300 on these 2 points of the approach. Come on, clouds, go away. And did I set the 126.25? We did set the ATIS. Maybe we're not going to get one. Apparently not. We should have had it by now if we were going to get it. It's okay. Not that big a deal. We'll stick with the 1011 that we're showing for the altimeter. Should be fine. It's probably close enough. About 10 miles out, set flaps 1. Flaps 2. Start getting some more speed burnt off the aircraft here. Still no sight of the runway because of the clouds. Really hope we get through this quick or it's going to be a horrible... Hey, there we go. I do see the runway now out in front of us. It's just off to the left. We're not quite aligned. Hopefully the aircraft will straighten that up as we come in. Flaps to 5. Yeah,
1,000 to go.
we're a little too fast for flaps 10. That's okay. We'll fly flaps 5 for a minute. Go ahead and go gear down. That'll add some more drag as well. Now we'll go flaps 10, start really getting the aircraft to slow down for us.
2,500.
Flaps 15. Flaps 25. Go ahead and set this, what was it again? 141. Flaps 30. And flaps full. We'll go ahead and take over my aircraft. See how things are feeling here. Let the auto throttle stay in control for just another minute. I know I set you to 141, please. Thank you. Oh, a little bit off there on the alignment now. But we've got it. No problem.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
500. 400.
Definitely a little bit of a crosswind coming in.
300.
We are not sinking that hard, you silly airplane. Definitely windy here on this approach. It might be a little bit rough coming in here.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, we got sideways right there at the end. That was horrible. Oh my goodness. Get those reverses out. Let's get this plane to slow down. There's 80 knots. Stow the reversers. I've got the brakes. We did roll that all the way out to the end. Gosh, windy. Holy cow, that grabbed us hard. That's going to be a horrible, horrible landing. I'm almost embarrassed by that one. I don't even know if I want to catch a replay. Goodness gracious. Wow, that was not a good landing. Flaps come up, spoilers come in. Get off to the right here just a little bit for the turnaround. we'll do our turnaround and back taxi down the runway here. Despite that being very, very rough landing, welcome to Christmas Island. Man, that wind was howling there on that approach. Holy cow. Alright, flight director can come off. Engines come back over to auto. Go ahead and fire up the APU. We'll back taxi back down here to the stand. Not a good landing rate. We were sideways. Oh, horrible. Probably should have almost pushed it around. I wonder if we didn't catch like a burst of wind right there at the end, because we were fairly stable till right at the runway, and then it just kicked our left wing right into the ground. Really bad. The plane just didn't want to correct out of it. Alright, the APU is available when we're ready for it. We don't need any of these lights. Still need the landing lights as we come down the back taxi down the runway here. But the good news is we didn't blow any tires, as rough as the landing was. We didn't get any kind of crash. It's just a really crappy landing. Not proud of that one at all. But we'll make up for it on another flight. Here comes the ramp turnoff. As we turn off, go ahead and turn off all the lights. Not sure how the parking works here. Looks like there's just a couple stands that you pull into. So, looks like we'll just pull off to the left here a little bit once we get up in here. Taxi light come off. Just peel off over here to the left and park it. Set the parking brake. Engine 1 come off, engine 2 come off. Come up top. APU power can come on. APU bleed can come on. Electrics come off. Heat can come off. Yaw damper can come off. Lights off. And fuel can come off except the aft tank. Aft tank is the one that powers the APU. Seatbelt sign come off as well. Folks, welcome to Christmas Island, Australian Indian Ocean Territory. Thanks for being here with me today. I do appreciate it. Sorry for the horrible, horrible landing there at the end. Might watch one replay just to see how bad that was. Not real happy with it, but I think it always deserved to watch a replay. You can't learn and critique yourself if you don't, so we will go ahead and toggle replay mode. We'll back it up. Watch this nasty landing. I need to go a little bit further. Here we go. We'll back it up just a little bit more. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to watch it from the outside. I'm not really going to do an inside view because I know how bad the landing was. Thanks for the follow, guys. Still working on getting pop-ups for that, but I do see the follow. I appreciate it. I'm not seeing the names right now, but I do appreciate all of you that have smashed that follow button today. It really helps, and I thank you for it. And then we can all laugh at this absolutely horrid landing at Christmas Island. Probably one of the worst landings I've had. Really disappointed in it. Right there on the flare. God, just pushed the left wing over right into the ground. I'm glad we didn't scrape the ground with it. But man, that's bad. Look at that. Even smoked the tires trying to realign with the runway. Just bad landing. Was very windy. I guess I need to work on some of those windy landings. Obviously that was an issue there. We did end up rolling it all the way out to the end of the runway. Wasn't planning on that, but knew it was very possible. That's why we had the RTO, or not the RTO, the auto brake set to 3. And then I looked over and the auto brake wasn't even on, so we had to do some manual braking. And but we got it stopped on time. We got it stopped on time. Probably rolled off into the grass just a little bit there. No, we didn't. Look at that. Could have rolled it out a little bit further into the turnaround though. But it's okay. We had plenty of room for the turnaround. Excellent. Alright everybody. Well, appreciate you all for being here today. It was a fun flight from Jakarta over to Christmas Island. Gonna do more flights. Most of the flights will be inside the U.S. Do some in Europe. Probably won't do a whole lot more out here in Australia or the islands because we just don't have any scenery for any of it. I am working on downloading the rest of the scenery for the U.S. Hopefully have the rest of the United States by the end of the week ready to go. So we'll have some good flights there. Usually fly some Southwest. If you haven't done so, check out those other videos I have. So far only one on Twitch. Follow my YouTube. I've got 2 flights there. This will be our 3rd flight on there. It's Holiday CPT, Holiday Captain. Go over there and check out some of those other flights. I promise you the landings are much better. We did a Denver to Phoenix and then a Atlanta to Orlando. The Orlando landing was excellent landing, looked really good. We're going to go ahead and exit replay mode, go back to the main terminal here. But again, thanks guys for being here. We're going to go ahead and end the stream. Please make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't done so already. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all of you, and appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your holiday.